The next subject we need to cover is preservation. Now, preservation is one of the most critical subjects on pre-commissioning commissioning. I am sure whenever you have been on jobs before, and I'm sure most of you will have been on a job before, even if short time, you go to the material yard and you will find everything just laid in the ground, laid in the sun, not covered, not protected. And especially in the Middle East, you have a shamal comes along and blows sand everywhere, and you get a film of sand inside all the valves, inside all the machines. You can imagine what that does to that valve or that machine when you start to operate it. Because very often construction don't really care. They just pick it up and they put it in. Not their problem. All they have to do is put it in. This is why you need to do, for example, P&ID checks. Because if you imagine, if you have a non-return valve, you give that to a piping engineer and say that needs to go in this line at this point, but he won't really know which the flow direction of flow is. So you have a 50-50 chance that he'll put it in the right way. So P&ID checks will tell you. Anyway, back to preservation. You need to make sure that everything is cleaned when it arrives. You need to make sure it's protected. You cover the ends of all the pipes with either the plastic protectors that you get or even just some plastic and tape. You need maybe to put a film of oil inside so that it preserves it. You can put a film of preservation liquid in. All sorts of ways you can preserve things. Motors, very important that you turn them. Every month you should turn a quarter of a turn so that you don't get a dead spot on the motor. You should always turn pumps. You should always make sure they have lube oil in them. When you go to put them onto site, you drain that lube oil out and you put in good oil. So we will give you as well, as part of the course, a section, which is quite a few pages long, on preservation. It's mechanical, instrument, electrical, various things, and it explains how to preserve the things. It also has a sheet that you can use for recording your actions. And you need to have somebody like that. On a big project, you should have at least one preservation engineer with a crew of 6 to 8 people, because they will be busy all day, every day, making sure that the stuff is fit to use in 1 year's time. Because believe me, this stuff can arrive and it can be sitting 1-2 years sometimes in the yard before you actually use it. It's very difficult if you're trying to do a big project to actually make it work so that you go and order everything on a Monday and you want everything to arrive on the Tuesday because you're going to start work on the Wednesday. Nah, it doesn't work that way. Never has, never will. It's impossible. So you have to keep things in storage. You have to preserve them.